Number 3, the final one. In conclusion, watch this, the biggest one of them all. If you want to change the atmosphere, you want to beat fear, prayer. Let me tell you what prayer does. This is what they said. They said prayer is helpful in overcoming all types of fear. Faith and trust in God are perfect antidotes to this very common human problem. It is a solution which helps us find serenity, peace, and acceptance. Prayer is the key to unlock your bondage. Prayer is your way out. Prayer will free you. You are free. You are free to go. You are free to do what you want to do because prayer changes things. That's what it does. You're free. Free at last. Prayer will change some things. Step up, son. Come on, step up here. Oh, you already took them off, huh? You already prayed, huh? Go ahead and run out of here, man. Good job, man. Give him a round of applause. Give this guy a round of applause. What's your name, man?
Gordon.
Huh? Gordon. Give it to Gordon. He already broke free. He was praying while I was preaching. Yeah. He broke free. Prayer will break you free. It will set you free. You can't let fear control you. Let me tell you about fear real quick and what fear can do. You got to have those 3 things that will allow you to move forward. But there's a lot of folks that we can look at in life from back in the days, from biblical days and back in the days in history that have gone through some things that have beaten their fear. If you want to go biblical, let's go with Noah. Let's go with Noah. Noah got a voice from God that came down and said, Noah, I want you to build this ark in the middle of nowhere. Okay, in the middle of nowhere, I want you to build this huge ark. And guess what? Noah said, what? Who? Ark. Yes, I'm going to send a flood. I'm going to flood the world. Okay, so Noah began to build this ark in front of people, and they're walking around in this big old ark, and they're like, what are you doing? He said, God said to build this because there's a flood coming, and they were laughing at him. And guess what? He could let the laughter, he could have allowed that laughter and that fear to build up and him not do God's work, and guess what? The story would not have ended that way, but Noah decided not to. Okay? That's a biblical thing right there. Moses, he came to that sea. Remember that? He got to that sea, and Pharaoh was coming after him. Guess what? I'm sure they were a little afraid. Wouldn't you be afraid? If Jokers was coming after you to kill you, you'd be a little afraid. Wouldn't you be a little timid? But guess what? He got to that sea, and God spoke to him, and guess he put that staff down in that thing, and he split the sea, and it was walls of water on both sides. Now watch this. And they're walking down the walls of water. There's dry land on their feet. Dry land on their feet. And they're walking across. And guess what? Let's stop for a second. Yeah, God has freed us. He's gotten us far. And yes, I see the water has been split. But guess what? Now I'm standing on dry land with 2 huge water walls on left and right. I'm still a little nervous. Okay? Okay? But I'm still going to keep moving. I'm going to keep on moving. See, fear is good to recognize, but don't let it stop you. Let's talk about Harriet Tubman for a second. Let's go back in the days. Harriet Tubman, guess what? She said, is you with me or is you ain't? Okay? And who's with me is going. So we're on our way. And she's going and she's walking. And there's this one joker that said, guess what? I'm scared. I'm going back. She said, not today you ain't. No, sir. You're not going today. You can be afraid right here. But you ain't going back that way. You're going that way or that way. Okay? She wasn't allowing fear to stop her mission. And she had to have some fear. As tough as she was, she went and came back. Went and came back. She didn't let fear stop her. Thank God. Thank God. So what I'm saying is that there's going to be some things in your life that are going to try and impede your progress. Stop you from moving forward. But you can't be afraid. Let me give you one more. One more. Anybody know about this guy named Paul? You know about this guy named Paul? Well, he was a prayer warrior. He's a prayer warrior. And he loved to preach the gospel. But one particular town, he went to this one particular town, and there was this woman who was following him around, and she was prophesying over him. And she was prophesying. Well, I'm not saying prophesying because she wasn't of God. She was actually just one of those mystical people who could foresee the future. And she was talking about him, and she was following around. And Paul got sick of this spirit following him. So Paul cast the spirit out. Bam! He cast the spirit out of the woman, and then the woman, all of a sudden, she could no longer be used. These men were using her gifts to make money. So once they found out her gifts were gone, and Paul did it, they got upset. They turned the town against Paul and his boy, threw him in jail, they beat him, chained him up, and guess what they went in jail? Guess what they were doing? They got thrown in prison, guess what they were doing? Singing. He's able. God's able to do just what he said. Come on, he was singing in there. Singing and praising the Lord. And guess what then? An earthquake. The chains broke off. The doors flew open. Bam! The guard that was sitting there, he had his sword. He saw it all happen. Ah! He got scared. He's going to take his own life. Ah! Paul said, no, man, hold up. Just chill, man. We're here to have a good time. It's all good. The man looked at him and fell to his knees. He asked, how can I be saved? So not only did Paul save him, but he saved his whole household. So let's fast forward through the story. The bottom line is Paul could have stopped. Okay? Because I'm sure there was a lot of fear that could have taken over and changed those circumstances. But Paul didn't allow fear to paralyze him. He didn't allow fear to stop him from doing what God has called him to do. So I want you to start thinking right now, what are some things in life that you need to do? And sometimes fear may derail you from getting to where you need to get to. I know it doesn't seem like it might work out the way you expected. I know it's a little some nerves involved in it. I know that the outcome could be not in your favor. But don't let fear paralyze you, because God has something very special for you. And if you persevere and if you press through, when you make it to the mountaintop, trust me, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Amen.